Is your Power BI report really up to date? How can you be sure? If you're not sure how fresh your report data really is, this video is for you. Before we start, please check the pinned comment below this video. You will find a ready to copy-paste message you can send to your Power BI developer and fix this issue. Are you using Power BI report but don't know if the data is fresh? How can you trust it and make the right business decision? In this video, I will show how to check if your report is truly up to date. There are two ways how to check this. The first is a quick way, but not always a reliable method. The second is a long-term solution that guarantees accuracy. Let's get started. So, quick check, but it might be wrong. The easiest way to check is by looking at the data updated field on the top bar of your report. This shows when the data was last refreshed in Power BI. So what's the problem? This date is not always correct, because it only shows when Power BI pulled the data from the database, not the latest visible date in your system. Let's check here. The data updated field says today's date. Looks fresh, right? But when you go deeper into the report, for example in a trend view, you see that the last recorded data is from April 2022. So 3 years ago. What's wrong here? The report refresh data is today, but the actual data is quite old. Why? Because the database itself might not have been updated. How does this happen? Think of Power BI as a 3-steps process. First, a tool collects the data, it might be a human being or robot, and put the data to the sales system or another database. The next, the data are copied to the data warehouse, and then Power BI reads the data from the data warehouse to the data model. And the data updated field only tells you when Power BI refresh the data. So the date stamp between step 2 and step 3. It doesn't tell you if the data itself was freshed when Power BI pulled the data in. So real life example, let's imagine your Power BI report is connected to an Excel file that is updated manually every day. But what if a person who is responsible for the updating is on a sick leave for 2 weeks? Power BI will still refresh the data, and the data updated field is correct. It shows the today's date, but the report actually missing 2 weeks of the data. So we have another way. I call them long-term solution. Since the data updated field can be misleading, the best way to track freshness is to ask your Power BI developer to add the last data entry field inside the report. What's the difference? The data updated field shows when Power BI last refreshed the data, but the last data entry field shows the actual last data date in your system. How to do this? Please talk to your Power BI developer and explain that you need a clear last data entry date in the report. They can take this information from the database or create a new logic by themselves. And next, this can be placed on the intro page or somewhere visible in the report, like here. And after it, it will be clear what is the freshness of the data. Each system is different, so the developer will decide the best way to calculate the date based on the data source and your business requirements. That's all. Are you facing another end-user issues with Power BI? Let me know in the comments. I will create a video about it. See you there.